Hi there. So, a lot of teams install visitor identification tools, and sometime down the line, they start saying it doesn't work. Either the data looks inconsistent, or the numbers feel inflated, or sales is chasing companies that never convert. So, with that case, the problem isn't usually the concept, but it's how the tool is set up and how the data is interpreted. So today I'll be walking you through the common mistakes people make with Snitcher and how other tools can avoid that or how you can avoid that in general. So my name is Justin and I'm from LemReview. So with this, I will be talking about the common mistakes people can avoid using Snitcher. And if you are running outbound, managing website traffic, etc., this is going to save you some time and prevent bad decisions going forward. So we'll be walking you through that. So for quick context, Snitcher is a website visitor identification tool and it uses IP-based detection to identify companies which visit websites and show you pages that you viewed and show you pages that they've interacted with. It shows you their information as well. So it shows you a bunch of information that would be useful for your sales team and in terms of getting those inbound leads and in terms of also following up with them without actually having them to contact you first based on the interest in the products that you're offering. So they might be doing a price comparison. So in that case, you can always contact them first and engage with them before they engage with your competitors. So that's one of the ways you can use Snitcher to get those leads. And if this fits your workflow, where marketing drives traffic and sales uses company level insights to prioritize outreach, then these tools are for you. So the difference is here, it isn't about what you claim to do, but it's how mistakes show up in real use. So this is something you might not be aware of, something that you might just do instinctively, and something that you could always avoid. So we'll be going through that and I will show you how to quickly avoid those mistakes. So the first mistake I would say is weak tracking script. So we will quickly go into Snitcher and this is how it looks like on the dashboard. So this is how it looks like before you even log in. So with this being the case, you can always log in, and if you don't have an account, you can always try for free, log in with your company email and just get started. So here we are at your dashboard, right? This is how it simply looks like, and this is the first thing you see after installing the code to track those website visitors. So this is just the initial baseline of how it looks like, and we'll go through everything step by step. So in terms of mistakes, weak tracking script placement. So with this one, the first, I would say it's when you insert the script or when you insert the code in a wrong manner to the point where it gives you inaccurate data, or you insert the code in a wrong place on your site. Since most code goes on the header, your team might insert it on the header and footer, two places at once, since most other codes use that kind of system, header and footer code insertion. So a lot of teams might install the code wrong, and sometimes it's only on the home page, sometimes it's injected through Tag Manager incorrectly, and sometimes it loads too late in the page lifecycle. So for this one, you need to load the code on every single page on your site so that you can get all the accurate data you need. So with this being the case, you get partial data, you get missed visits, like you don't get the information of all the people who visited your site, inconsistent company detection, and the people say the tool isn't accurate, which might not be the case. In reality, it's just how you set it up in the first place. So another issue or another mistake here is misinterpreting the company visits and buying intent. So with this one, it's more strategic. Your team may see a company name appear and immediately assume it's a buying signal, but they didn't really analyze the data from other pages. To be more specific, I would advise analyzing pages like services pages, like prices, pricing pages like case study. And if a company appears simultaneously on those pages, it might give you the signal that this company might have the intention of buying. Not that it has the intention of buying, but it might have intention of buying. So depending on the pricing, depending on the product you offer and what they're looking for, that might convert. So teams, obviously here, it could be employees just browsing through. Maybe they just saw a homepage. Maybe they just view the metrics that I just mentioned. They might just be browsing through. It might be a recruiter checking your site or your competitor monitoring you. So not always will it be a lead or always will it be a potential customer for your business. So this tool doesn't always contextualize those signals deeply, so the interpretation becomes your responsibility. So it's up to you to interpret it perfectly, and for that, you need to have certain steps or certain checklists to mark off in order to get that accurate data or in order to get that accurate interpretation of, okay, this is not really what the client, and this might be a potential client, and so on. So, with this being said, whatever website visitor you get, it will write the company name of the individual and so on. So, as many clicks as possible when you get on your website, you'll get all that detail on information right here. So, let's say there is another mistake that people make. In this case, it's treating reveal data as complete lead data. So with this one, people assume that companies that appear here are ready to contact leads, which is not always the case. So with this one, people often rush into it. Like they think all data they get here is the data that's obviously going to help them, which might not always be the case. So Snitcher identifies companies, yes, but it doesn't automatically provide decision makers, validated contact data, or buying readiness. So for teams, if they skip the enrichment phase, they hit dead ends. The potential leads end up running away, or end up feeling like they are being pushed. So with this being the case, it might feel like this company is it's a bit too pushy. So they might end up just backing off and going to other teams. So, in context, the tool that we use, LemReview, it does exactly the same thing. However, it has features and it has there we go, it's loaded. It has features and it has some details like your analytics, your reports, and your live feed. So with this one, you can see how things are going, and you can decide whether the company is a lead or not based on the filters here. You can filter out the people who visit your site. As you can see, you can go with companies, it can be people like normal people visiting your site, normal people like sole traders who obviously would need your services. You contact them and potentially turn into customers. So with this one, the main function here is the sites. You can add as many sites as possible. And in terms of fixing the mistakes that people always make, LemReview works in the same category. It identifies anonymous website visitors and enrich them with company and intent data. So, with this being the case here, I would say that LemReview avoids some of these issues, and it emphasizes full site deployment during onboarding. It actively checks whether the tracking script is firing correctly across pages. And so here, instead of just giving you code snippet, it verifies data flow. Like, okay, this data is firing perfectly and everything is working as it should. So you are good to go in terms of proceeding. proceeding with getting that accurate data and making those assumptions that you'd usually make when you use this kind of tools. And that would be the case with LemReview. So with this being the case here, LemReview approaches this whole process differently by layering behavioral context and intent scoring. Instead of just showing you company X visited, it shows pattern, multiple visits over time, specific high intent pages, engagement clusters. That doesn't eliminate interpretation, but it reduces blind assumptions. So yes, you still have to interpret the data on your own, but at least here you won't be walking in the dark. So the structure pushes you towards prioritizing instead of reaction. So you prioritize what you need to look at thoroughly instead of just blindly jumping into it. So that's how you can have a look at that. And if you need to find out more information about these tools, if you need to look at them deeper and find other interesting aspects on them, you can always catch the links in the description below. And if you find an interesting feature that you want us to use, you can also leave that in the comment below. So comment with an interesting feature that we haven't covered, and we will have a look at that. And that's it from me. I'll catch you on the next video.